Hey friends, Heather here. It's been a while and it was time to come on and have a little chat. At the time of recording this, I'm in Ontario, Canada, and the majority of the province, I believe it's the majority of the province, is under a fire ban. So we're surrounded by forest fires, thankfully not too close to me. So I'm very grateful for the safety in that, and my heart and just all good thoughts and intentions to everybody who may be affected by that are with you. And it's a waiting game, really. And I know a lot of people have already been impacted. And more will be impacted. That's just the reality of where it's at. From a spiritual lens, and this is where things get dodgy for people. From a spiritual lens and a metaphorical lens, fire is an incredible medicine. Fire burns things down that is no longer needed. It destroys, it clears, and it's important because that's how we make space for what's new and what is necessary and whatever it is that needs to be grown or brought into our lives at any given time. Fire being a destroyer energy can really stir up challenging emotions because we don't like change. We don't want things to be different. But in order to evolve and grow and continue and be in this life in some capacity, we really are healing and changing all the time. And so with that knowing, should you choose to be with that school of thought, should you choose to lean in and allow that knowing, then trusting that there is probably something right now that also needs to be burned down in your life. When a forest fire is no longer engulfed, right? When the fire dies down, when the lava from a volcano clears, when the heat is no longer present, whatever is meant to come up in that place can now do so because everything else has been removed. And so I have a real problem with language around good and bad, gains, losses, that sort of thing. I have issues with saying sorry when someone is going through something on a human level, because from the spiritual side, I know there's an intended reason and purpose behind why that person is experiencing what they're experiencing. The human side of me, the compassionate side of me that is empathetic and can feel and can relate and empathize and sympathize and all of the above, that part of me can feel sorry that that person is in pain or experiencing what they're experiencing and be in that space with that person. But as you know, if you've been here for a minute or you know me, I walk in both worlds. And that can be very conflicting at times, and it can be very exhausting. And in the work I do, being able to hold both of those is important, because I cannot lose sight of the fact that we are humans doing the human thing, and humaning is hard, but it doesn't have to be. But then I also carry the wisdom and the knowing and the guidance and the power of the spiritual understandings and teachings that I have, that I speak to, and that I know internally as well. And everybody has some layer and level of this. It's just a matter of whether you activate it or not, and whether you want to tune into it or not. And some people don't. And back to the language piece, in terms of things being right or wrong, there is no right or wrong with that, because every person's journey is their journey. That's the point. So right now, if you were to take fire medicine and consider what needs to be released from your life, what needs to come into harmony in your life, what needs to change, what's not working, what behaviors are you continuing, what patterns are you perpetuating, what are you allowing? Is what you're saying and doing lining up with the alignment of your true belief system? Are you doing things for show? Are you doing things to get a reaction out of other people? Are you saying something that isn't accurate because you're afraid of how you actually feel about a situation? When we start to unpack these things, and when we let the lies we tell ourselves burn up, it allows space for your truth to come to the surface. And when the truth of your being and your knowing and your experience comes to the surface, it allows you to choose differently. It allows you to be present with who you most deeply and truly are. Sit with that. Sit with that medicine and see what that medicine brings up for you. And decide what choice is the next best thing for you right now. What do you really, truly, deeply want to be freed of, so that you can step into alignment? Step into being who you truly are and who you want to be and how you want to be in the world. And I always say it's never too late. You're never too old. And there's always plenty of time to choose differently. If you have any comments or questions, I would love to hear from you. And I hope that there was some medicine in here for you to see what resonates and see what doesn't. And maybe the message resonated to the point of going, yeah, no, she's not for me. Because there's medicine in that too. And that is also something we need to be aware of, is what teachings do we choose to believe in? Do we choose to want to be around and embracing? So there's that. Be well, friends.